Many conservative groups state the deal's emphasis on raising taxes on the wealthiest 1% instead of cutting spending will hurt the economy.
The Heritage Foundation's done a study that looks at what would happen if you do a plan very similar to this and found there'd be a $200 billion hurt in terms of GDP to the economy.
That could make an already weak economy even weaker. Such a negative effect will likely be felt worldwide, like in China, where the boom days have been replaced by modest growth, and in Europe, where basket cases like Greece and Spain are putting a strain on the entire European Union. And it could kill some recent signs of recovery here at home, an improving housing market, more jobs, higher production.
Now, the Congressional Budget Office warns us that Mr. Obama's Eat the Rich crusade will actually result in throwing 200,000 middle-class families into unemployment. Ernst & Young estimates 700,000 lost jobs.
They're the ones that build the factories, and they're the ones that provide jobs. So obviously, taking more money away from them means less factories and less jobs.
Others, though, are pleased with the emphasis on taxing the wealthy more in this deal.
A deal that really is just, one that requires and asks those who have benefited greatly from our society to pay their fair share, which I don't believe they have thus far.
On the other hand, Senator Rand Paul warns this deal will backfire, taking money from the job creators who could have helped grow the economy. Now it may well shrink.
They want more revenue. I think if you raise tax rates, you may get less revenue. Last year in England, they raised the tax rates and they actually got less revenue this year, and they're thinking about reversing course.
There's an employee they can't hire next year, or 2 employees or 5 employees. So this just does nothing but hurt the economy.
Senator Lindsey Graham warns the deal's utter failure to reform the massive entitlement programs, like Social Security, will eventually take America down the same path as nearly bankrupt Greece.
Medicare and Medicaid combined, if you don't reform them, in 20 years will take all the tax revenue coming into Washington. So how do you avoid becoming Greece without entitlement reform?
The Club for Growth's Andy Roth warns credit agencies are threatening another downgrade of America's credit rating because Washington isn't cutting spending enough.
They are asking for about $4 to $5 trillion in deficit reduction. And nobody's talking in those numbers yet.
How many times do we make a deal with the devil saying that if you increase taxes, we'll cut spending? And it never happens. So it's not going to happen this time either.
Now is the time to have a serious conversation about spending. If Warren Buffett wants to talk about his tax rate, he should explain, why does he get a Social Security check? Why is a hardworking American supposed to pay for 3/4 of Warren Buffett's prescription drug benefits? That's the conversation we need to have in this town.
Those here on Capitol Hill may feel that a fiscal cliff averted is a disaster averted. But those who look long-term at the effects this may have on the American economy are saying it may actually cause more trouble than it averts. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Capitol Hill.